All right, welcome guys. I'm glad you guys are already settled down, quiet. It's a good sign for today. We have an awesome presentation for you guys today. A group of high schoolers are going to speak to you. You know, you guys, we've done a lot of things over the past month as we get ready for your transition to the high school. Last week, you guys had the opportunity to talk to some freshmen. We talked about their first year at the high school, kind of some of the different rules and things finding their way, some of the class stuff. Today, it's a little bit different presentation. It's going to be about seniors who have had their 4 years here at the high school. They are going in different paths. They've all had very different experiences, and they're going to kind of talk a little bit about what made their experience kind of unique to them. You know, what opportunities they took advantage of, where they're going after high school, you know, how they made that decision. Maybe some of them haven't fully made that full decision of what comes next. And hopefully what you'll be able to understand is, you know, there is a lot of opportunity for you at this school when you guys move up to the high school next year. We're going to be really respectful, quiet, give them our full attention. There is going to be opportunities for questions, okay? We're going to really, what we really want to do is hear from them, not me. So I'm going to be handing it to the first student. He's going to jump in to talk about what made his experience awesome at Timberlane High School. And you guys are going to do a great job listening. We ready? Good? All right.
Hey guys, my name is Camden Zambrovich. In the fall, I'll be attending Bates College, and I'm committed to play football. Probably my favorite thing about my 4 years here was the sports. I was a 4-year varsity player for football and 3-year varsity player for baseball. I've been captain of both teams my senior year, and something I just love about it is the memories, you know, and the people you meet, not only on the team that you play, but the teams that you play against. You know, you'll see them for 4 years, and it's probably my favorite part. So when it comes to like balancing stuff, like all your schoolwork, you know, your club, your sports, some of you may get jobs, like my best advice is to just limit the procrastination. So if you just decide to plan what you're going to get done and you just do it right then, I think you'll have a lot of success. And then I'm also a part of Life of an Owl. I think it's a great leadership group, and I really like the workshops and the activities that we do down there, because it really just helps me become a good leader for the school. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Emma Susi. Next year I'm attending Florida Atlantic University, which is in Boca. I'm majoring in architecture. So probably my favorite thing about high school was Project Hope. I've been a member since freshman year, and this year I was actually a student leader. I led the advertising committee, so it was really a big commitment for me, and it meant a lot to me because cancer is a thing close to my heart, so that might be a good thing for you guys if you can relate to that. My biggest piece of advice for high school is probably to make good connections with your teachers. It'll make your experience like so much better, and they'll always be there for you if you need extra help. They give up time during your free periods, and they're really there for whatever you need. I'm also in Science Honor Society, National Honor Society, and I'm in Key Club. And I'm also on the varsity tennis team and was a part of Unified Basketball.
Hi guys, my name is Anna Hammer. In the fall, I'll be attending Wheaton College, Illinois for biology and pre-med, and then onto the neonatology track. One of my favorite things about high school is probably the opportunity to get involved in so many different things. So I'm in band, symphony orchestra. I've done a couple sports like soccer, track, and swimming. And I'm also in a few honor societies. I'm Science Honor Society president, as well as English Honor Society and National Honor Society. Those are a really good way to give back to the community, kind of get involved in community service, and go to the middle school and like things like pen pal letters. It's really fun to meet a bunch of different people. One of my other favorite things about high school is being able to pick your own classes. So you can take classes called AP courses, which are for college. You can have college credit with them, and you can pick the subjects that you want to take. So I took biology this year, and calculus and statistics. So those have been some of my favorite classes because they're some of the things I'm most interested in, and it's fun to learn at a higher level with those. So yeah.
Hey everyone, my name is Matt LaBelle and I am a senior at Timberlane. I will be attending Plymouth State University in the fall with a major in psychology. I am the student school board rep and it's been really great to get to know the community in a different way. I've also been a leader on Project Hope, which has been really fun. I led the design committee this year, and that's it.
Hi everybody, I'm Jackie Fuller. I'm going to the University of New Hampshire next year to major in music education. I'm involved a lot at the high school. I'm in 5 honor societies and student council. I'm the student council vice president. Student council, I got to talk to a lot of you last week about student council. Applications are due today if you're applying. But we're just a group of students who help build the Timberlane community. We do service opportunities, fundraising. We also do Spirit for the school. We run Spirit Week. I got to run the pep rally this year. That was a lot of fun. And I'm also in several music groups, obviously. We have a lot of music groups at the high school. As you know, at the middle school we have a lot. But we have band, jazz band. Band is concert band and marching band. It's so much fun. We have band, jazz band, orchestra, choir, and guitar orchestra, but all of these groups make up many smaller groups. So we have the full orchestra, but we also have symphony orchestra, which involves people from the band. They have chamber orchestra, fiddle, there's choir and chamber choir. The guitar orchestra band also has several smaller chamber groups. And it's a great way to build a community and be able to express yourself through music and just have a lot of fun with great people. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Samantha Fowler and I'll be attending the University of New Hampshire for Health Sciences on the pre-med track. So my favorite thing about high school was taking the CTE classes over at Salem. So I'm in the health science class, so that's a 2-year program. The first year focuses on anatomy and just the principles of healthcare, while the second year I concentrated in the EMT class, so now I'm interning as an EMT over at the Salem Fire Station, and next month I'll be taking my EMT test to hopefully get my license and be an independent EMT. So yeah, that was really fun. We also did state competitions, and I placed second last year, which got me over to nationals in Nashville, Tennessee, and that looks really good on your college resume. So yeah, that was fun. I also took AP classes, so this year I'm taking AP Calc and AP Bio. I liked that it was a harder course. It kind of helps you prepare for the college mentality and keeping up with a larger course load, and just learn adding more higher depth into the things that you like. So yeah, thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Thomas Young. I will be attending Champlain College in the fall for accounting and finance dual major. One of my favorite things at the high school is the boys volleyball program. I also manage the girls volleyball team, but the boys volleyball program is really great. One of your gym teachers, Mr. Balanoff, he's actually one of the coaches there, and it's definitely a lot of fun. As for clubs that I'm in Key Club, which is a community service organization, and I'm also in National Honor Society, and there you do a bunch of different initiatives in the community for the school and outside of the school. I'm an officer there, but that's something that juniors and seniors get to do. Something to look forward to next year for you guys is Spirit Week. It's definitely a really fun week where you dress up a bunch of different days. They have activities, I think, most nights. Different things like a variety show, there's a carnival, a bunch of different things you get to go to, and it's really fun to go all out with your friends and dress up. And then one last thing I'd like to mention, a teacher named Miss Trainer. Many of you guys will have her next year for English, your freshman English class. She is a great teacher and is an example of one of the many teachers who treat you very well and support you as an adult as you grow through your 4 years of high school. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jack Birdsall, and one thing I really like about Timberlane is all the teachers. Lots of nice teachers that, they'll be as much of a teacher as a friend to you. I'd say one of the teachers you guys might have is Mr. Shivel. He was one that even outside of math class, he would even help me with my math work and make sure I was even just doing good all around. Besides that, even after, so after high school, I'm going to be going into the Navy. That was definitely like a big decision for me. At first, I decided I was going to go into like trades and stuff like that, like construction or something along those lines. And I just decided like the benefits and stuff that come along with going in the military was a huge thing for me. So I ended up deciding that I wanted to be a missile technician in the Navy. I'll be down in the submarines and stuff. And yeah, that was definitely a huge decision for me. So, yep, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jake Bilicki. I'll be attending Bentley University next year. One of the favorite things I've got to experience at Timberlane is being my class president. I've been doing that for 2 years. I'm still like a regular member of student council, so doing stuff at the school, but more specifically I help like raise money for my class, like for paying for prom or dances or just having fundraisers. There's a lot of people that work with me, so it's fun to work with people and kind of lead that to help my class get money for fun things for prom, so I love doing that. For sports, I played football for 3 years. I played basketball for 4, being a captain my senior year. I played volleyball for 3 because of COVID, we didn't have it freshman year, and I was a captain my junior and senior year. Those were all really fun. Playing with different players across all 3 sports, getting to know the coaches, just every organization I've been a part of is great, every team. I really love it. And then something I love about Timberlane is how connected we are as a community. Like everyone will ask you how your game went, like every teacher, most kids, like everyone wants to know how you're doing. Whether it was like a play or anything, everyone wants to know how it went, everything went well. And it's hard to walk a full lap around the hall and not have someone say hi to you or ask you how you're doing, which is awesome. I just love how everyone really cares and it feels like a small family in that school, or a big family I meant, sorry. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Landon Pettingill. I will be going into the ironworking union after I graduate. I am a part of the CTE program at Pinkerton. This is my 2nd year doing the welding program. In that program, you learn all processes. You get certificates for 2 years of welding knowledge, and you learn how to read blueprints, read everything. And basically, it showed me what I want to do for my career, and it opens up a whole lot of job opportunities in the area for people that want to go into that field. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ella. Next year I'll be going to College of the Holy Cross. I'm undecided on my major, but that's where I'm going. I wanted to talk to you about, I am the drum major of the marching band. It actually has nothing to do with drums. It's all about like, you're the person that's like conducting and kind of leading the band around when they're in the formation, and it takes a lot of like assertiveness and confidence, and that was something that didn't always come natural to me, but it's been a lot of like trial and error, and I would definitely encourage you to just put yourself out there next year, even if it's something that you think might be a little bit challenging for you. And definitely I did it because the band, like Jackie talked about the music program, but all of those groups are very supportive. You can always find your place there. They really just have offered me a lot through my 4 years. The other thing that I want to talk about is one of the most like impressive organizations here, but also one of the most inclusive is the Timberlane Players. We do tons of shows and musicals throughout the school year, a lot more than other schools do. And basically if you do any of those productions, you can consider yourself part of the Timberlane Players. A lot of people find they also find themselves really finding their place there. They go if they've never done theater, or if they did do theater at the middle school, like if you did Newsies or Frozen. I really encourage you to do it at high school because it's a different experience, but it's also one where you'll find a lot of like students take initiative and you're all working towards a common goal. So that's a really good thing to get involved with as well. So thank you.
What's up guys, my name's Evan Doherty. I'm going to be attending Endicott College in the fall, majoring in sports management. Definitely one of my favorite things that possibly the entirety of high school that I did was unified PE, not just the class but also the basketball team. I had been volunteering with kids with special needs and doing like sports with them for about 4 years outside of school, and I didn't realize we had a program here until my senior year. So getting involved with like unified gym class is such an amazing experience. I believe you can do it any year, and you can retake the class, but it won't be for a credit. But it's definitely one of the best things you'll do. You have so much fun with the kids. You play sports with them, you play games with them. It's like a normal gym class. You connect with them, and you guys can have a really great bond by the end of it, and it's really hard to like walk away from. But I recommend doing that as well as the basketball team, which was a lot of fun. You get to travel to different schools, play different teams. It's a lot of fun, and you get to have like a party or a senior night at the end of the year, which is amazing. And then sports around here, I did soccer for 4 years. I was a 2-year captain, and then baseball for 3 years, and then I'm a captain this year. Really get into sports. It's awesome. You get to hang out with your friends almost every day after school. Play different teams. It's good competition, so yeah.
All right, we're going to start firing some questions at it, but first let's hear it for them for all talking to us today. I do have a couple kind of quick questions for you guys. First off, just by a show of hands, how many of you guys knew what you wanted to do after high school when you walked in the door freshman year? Hopefully that's a little reassuring for you. I know I've had a lot of questions with some of you guys over the last couple weeks on some of our CT trips or after the freshmen came of, starting to think about what you want to do. We just heard from 12 seniors who are all going in very different paths. Many had very different experiences at the high school, but not a single one of them put their hand up. I thought we might get a couple, but if you're not sure what your path's going to look like over the next 4 years, that's okay. I think what's important to understand as we talk to these seniors is there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of trial and error. How many of you guys tried something that you didn't like and then tried something else after? Right? So the first thing you try might not be the thing that ends up becoming your passion. Okay? How many of you set out for one career and now are going in a completely different major? Right? So a bunch of them had an idea of what they were going to do, and then their experiences led them down a different path. So I do want to ask while we have you, since I went pretty quick, and anybody can kind of volunteer, but if you go back to when you were a freshman, does anybody have any regrets if they could go do their freshman year back?
One thing that I would say is like when I was in your guys' position and I heard the seniors talk, all of the advice they gave was like get involved, get involved. If you haven't done something, like it doesn't matter if you have any interest in it, get involved. And that's one thing that I regret. Like I kind of hesitated freshman year and a little bit of sophomore year, and then I started to get involved. And like I joined the tennis team my junior year, and I've never played tennis. And I wish that I joined freshman year because I made so many great relationships with the girls in the team, and I wish that I could have had like more years with them. So that's what I would say is get involved freshman year.
All set. Perfect. All right. Questions from you guys? Not all at once.
If I'm playing, if I'm a football player and I'm on the football team, can I play music as well? Can I be in the band?
Yeah, my freshman year when I was on the team, we had 2 kids who started on the team, and they would play the first half, and in halftime, instead of going in with the team and talking about like our second half game plan, they would just grab their instruments and they would do their performance during halftime, and then they'd come back out with us.
So it is encouraged, as far as I know, at the
Yeah.
high school level, not to turn things away because you're doing something else, that you can do more than one thing at the same time.
They will not, the coaches will not treat you differently if you would like to do both.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I agree with Cam. We definitely had football players that were also in the band. We also had some cheerleaders. So they would cheer with their team, and then they would come out for the halftime show, which was really fun. So I was on the soccer team and marching band all 4 years. And so there's definitely times, for example, like tryout week and band camp week. It's a really busy week, and there's double sessions of tryouts. So you have some in the morning, some at night. And so they really encourage you to do both though, so they'll make it work. The coaches will talk to the band directors. They're really good about doing it, so don't quit one just so you can do the other.
Mr. LaBelle, can you talk a little bit more about the process for running for your position with the school board and how that's been?
That's all you have to do is fill out an application. I got lucky my year. No one else was running, so I won by a landslide. But I would really highly encourage it. It's a really great position. You get to really meet some amazing people in your community.
As a high schooler, a senior, how often would you say are the courtyards used?
Important question.
That's actually a really good question. My first semester this year is when the senior courtyard becomes available, and I had a free period during the day where it was like third period out of the 4 periods in the day, and I would sit out there like the entire 2 hours with my friends who also had that same free period. And now that the weather's getting nice, I do eat lunch out there. However, honestly, in the senior courtyard years, there's always a bunch of people out there. Most tables are full when the weather's nice, although it's still a bit cold out now.
Jack, I have a question for you. You mentioned you're going into the Navy, correct? What was the process in terms of, did you work with a recruiter? Kind of how did someone talk to you? Did you seek out that advice? Kind of can walk us through that process where led you to that decision?
So we have like events where there'll be like recruiters from the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Like they'll all come into the school. There's kind of just like random times in the year where they'll be there, but I think there's a certain day where we just had a bunch of tables set up in the gym where everyone was kind of talking to different people for different careers they wanted to go in, and so I ended up reaching out to actually like every recruiter from every different branch, because at the time I didn't even know what I wanted to go into yet. I just knew I wanted to go into the military, and so I kind of like went to talk to each recruiter and explored more about each branch. So that actually led to help me find exactly what career I wanted in itself. So that was definitely a good way of kind of like branching out, and I would definitely say it kind of goes back to getting involved. So if there's any chance of like even going to ask these guys like what do they do for a job and what it's like joining into something like that, then I would say like even just go and ask questions.
And we should probably give him an extra quick thank you for joining the Navy.
So my brother's in the military. How do I word this? So when talking to a recruiter, are they gonna tell you like where to go, like for either like a training camp or something like that?
So yeah, I mean, they'll kind of help you in the process as far as like deciding on what job you want to go into and stuff like that. But as far as where you're gonna go for maybe like a training camp or something like that, that all kind of depends on what specific job you want to do in whatever branch you end up going into. So that's something where I had to go to a building in it's called the MEPS building. I went into Portland, Maine, and that's where I ended up choosing my job. And so like the people there, they ended up helping me like figure out where I was gonna go for like my schooling, because I'm going into schooling for 2 years for the Navy, and then I'll be like stationed somewhere. So when you go through that process, it's kind of just like when you're in the process, you'll figure out what places are possible to go to, or that's even stuff your recruiter will tell you, as far as like they'll just let you know like these are possible places that you could go for for the specific job that you want to go into.
Jack, I know at the middle school you kind of have to pick one music kind of area. It sounds like you expanded upon that. Can you talk a little bit just about how that conflicts, what opportunities, and how you manage all the different music options?
Yeah, of course. So I'm involved in 2 separate music classes. I know at middle school you have to pick one, either band, orchestra, chorus, or general music. But at the high school you can take multiple periods. They take place, we have 4 blocks, we have block scheduling, so they're during either 3A or 3B. So I'm in the jazz band, I play alto saxophone, so that's 3A, and also the guitar, orchestra, and the chorus take place during that block, and then I'm in the marching and concert band, that's 3B, and that's also when the orchestra takes place. So we've had people in the past who are in chorus and band, jazz band and band, chorus and orchestra even, and there's also a lot of after-school music opportunities. So I'm actually in the pit orchestra for the musical this year. If you can see this, why the stage is opened up, that's right after our April break. And that rehearses completely after school, typically on Fridays. We had a rehearsal yesterday. I'm also in the symphony orchestra, which is also after school, in the jazz combo, even a recorder ensemble. There's just so many ways to be able to balance your schedule, but also take all the music classes that you'd like to take and be involved in as much music as you want to be involved with.
Can you tell them about other opportunities that you had, not just after school or in class, but like all state? Can you explain how you're going to be able to about all these different things?
Yeah, so we also have audition opportunities to be involved with music festivals at the state level, like how they have the Honors Band Festival and the NHMEA Festival. So I was involved with the all-state classical all-state my sophomore and my junior year, and then junior and senior year I was involved in the Jazz All-State Festival. I was the top scoring alto saxophone for that festival both years. And I also, this past weekend, I got to go to Rochester, New York for the All Eastern Music Festival. I was in the instrumental jazz ensemble. And Timberlane makes it so there's so many opportunities to be involved with music. We have a private lesson program here in all the practice rooms, just to be able to work with a teacher who's a professional on your instrument. And we also, the music program is going to Disney next week over April break. There's so many ways to just get out there and show your joy of music. The marching band's actually marching down Main Street in Magic Kingdom on Tuesday. So there's just so many ways to get involved and have fun with your friends.
So, had to be like the biggest difference from middle school to high school? Like, what was the biggest transition that you had to get used to?
I guess the coursework was a lot different. There was definitely a lot more coursework, and it helps get you prepared for college and I guess like your careers beyond your school experience. What was the other part of your question?
Like, what was like the biggest thing you had to get used to from middle school to high school?
Just the transition part, really. Like once after, like probably in your second semester, freshman year, you kind of get used to the flow of things. And then, yeah, it's just kind of, you just cruise on from there.
What's the biggest difference between middle school and high school?
The coursework. And you have a lot more, like, class choices. Like, I remember in middle school, like, you took, like, your math, your science, your English, but you have more art options, more science options, like you have bio, chem, physics, and their AP versions of that. Yeah, more freedom, too.
I was going to say, what about social and
I agree with that. I would also say the first thing that I did that was like kind of high school was the summer before my freshman year, I did a summer musical here. And I remember being just totally shocked about like I think in middle school, you guys do have a lot of like responsibility and you work hard, but a lot of things are led by teachers. Like teachers are directing what you're doing all the time and all your activities. And I got to the high school musical that we were doing, and it was very like students taking initiative to like figure out what we were doing and giving each other help and advice, and just a lot more independence and like student leadership. And very quickly you'll form role models in the upperclassmen that you do meet when you get here, and that is something that was really different about middle school to high school.
I would also say, like, adding onto the courses, like, you have so many different options, kind of like major specific. So if you have like kind of an idea of what you want to go to college for, like, there are so many different classes you can take to like see if you would like it. So I had an idea that I wanted to do architecture, so I took architectural drawing this year. I'm actually in it right now, and that kind of like solidified for me that that's what I want to go to college for. Also, you have free periods during the day, so it's kind of like a study, and it's very, you have to manage your time well for that. So it's a lot of independence and like getting yourself to do your work, and it's very, you lead yourself in that path. Kind of like Ella was saying, the teachers are there for you, but it's very independent.
Did any of you take advantage of either evening classes or online classes during your time? Ooh, a few of you guys. Fix it up there. Sorry.
So I took Latin my freshman year as my language because I got sold on at the middle school. I did their presentation, I helped with their SATs, so I was interested. But the teacher left after my freshman year, so I did VLAX for that my sophomore, and well, I'm finishing up now because it takes a while. It's a lot of work. It's definitely a different experience taking class online. You really have to be, it's all on you because you only really talk to your teacher when you meet on Zoom, like unless you need help or like required time. So a lot of it's on you to schedule your dates out when you want to be done, to be very accountable. But I'm glad I had an opportunity to get the credit done, so I didn't have to take a language. You need 3 years of a language. I didn't have to go sophomore to senior. I was able to continue on for my freshman year, so I'm glad I had that opportunity.
Yeah, so like I said before, I'm in CTE, so that kind of eats up 2 blocks of every day. So there was a lot of, I guess, scheduling issues, but I got around that by taking VLAX, which was good. It was, like Jake said, it was definitely a different experience. It was definitely worth it though, because like the EMT class, like I could never regret taking that. Best decision of my life, probably. It's very fun. I love it. So right now I finished like an intro to coaching class, which is a gym credit, and right now I'm taking US history online.
Max?
So as you guys seniors, what is one thing that you miss the most about high school going after high school?
What was the question?
As being seniors, what is the one thing that you'll miss the most about the high school?
I think I'll definitely miss the community the most. The music program is such a large, tight-knit community, and I've just found so many great friends and great connections with people of all grades, like freshmen through senior, and I've been able to get so close with so many of the people. My younger sister's a sophomore, so leaving her behind would be sad, but I have so many close friends, and leaving this music program behind will definitely be a lot. I know I'm going on to continue doing music, but there's so many great opportunities at Timberlane in so many different ways. Everyone's just so close, and leaving that all behind will be a little bit sad, but happy that it'll continue on without us.
Probably the thing I'll miss most is we're kind of like you right now. Like we're kind of like sitting at the back of the bus, the top dogs of our schools right now. You guys are going into freshman year where you'll be like now the young kids in the school, which is kind of scary. So same for us. We're all going into different professions or universities or whatever we're doing, where we're now starting from the beginning. But we kind of lose that security of like knowing who we're going with. And we're gonna have to meet a lot of new people, see a lot of new faces. I don't really know what to expect. So I kind of miss having that like kind of blanket, I guess, of being with people you know and you like to be around.
Definitely, it's going to be, I don't think we realize it now, but they send us to school 5 days a week and we get to see and hang out with our friends 5 days a week, and now we're all going to college. So definitely, like Jake said, we're meeting a bunch of new people. Half the kids in our school probably aren't going to the same school really. They're all branching out. So definitely having to make like connections with friends you've known for 11 years since elementary school. It's definitely going to be difficult, but something that I'm going to miss, but it'll be new. So.
I would agree with them about the community. I think the people is really the best part, and I think that's what I'm going to miss the most. In like sports teams, like I think that's a really unique kind of bond. Same with the music program, like Jackie said. And I think it's cool, like you'll look at the fan section and we're all kind of like cheering for like a common goal. I think that's really cool. And also the teachers, I think the teachers are really here for us, and that's kind of one thing I really learned is like the teachers really want to support you, like it's their job, but they also will be there for you and they'll give up their time to help you. There's so many teachers that will just stay after school and just give up so much of their time, which is really unique, and they'll care about you like not only in their class but also outside their class. So I think that's one thing I'll miss the most.
I'm going to add on to Anna's about teachers. That's kind of what I said in the beginning, is like making good connections with your teachers, and like truly that is what I look forward to every day, is like going into Miss Trainer's room and saying hi to her and Miss Bird, and like I can't say I've had a teacher I didn't like in high school. I've liked all of my teachers and I've had really good connections with them, so that's definitely something I'm going to miss. I'm going to have to keep in contact with them.
Alongside the community that people keep bringing up, it's going to be a total lifestyle change for us. Timberlane does a very good job at prepping us for the work that we're going through, but we're kind of in a similar point to you guys, where you guys are going from middle school. You have like a very scheduled day. I think you guys have more than 4 classes, which is crazy. And so you guys are going to have 4, you're going to go from that to having 4 classes a day, and we're going to be going from having school 5 days a week to whatever we end up scheduling. So I'm definitely going to miss kind of more structure, because you pick classes in high school, but you pick days moving on. So I'm going to miss kind of the guidance that Timberlane offers.
This might not have an answer, but any of you guys struggled in a class at some point and had to take steps to kind of recoup a grade or kind of work? All right, we're handling it.
My hand went kind of too fast on that one, but it's fine. My sophomore year I took biology, and science wasn't always my strong point and just wasn't clicking. I'm used to getting 80s or higher kind of just by working. I'm working hard, not like going the extra mile, I guess. But I really just couldn't really grasp what he was teaching, and I was like in like low 60s, which just wasn't really like me. So it was like kind of like a punch in the throat, like having to like stay with him after and before class, making time, being like extra work to get extra credit. Like I finished with a 70 for quarter 3, which was like I think my lowest grade in high school, but like it was probably the grade I was most proud of because I probably worked the hardest in that class. So it was just awesome to see how like, you know, like the growth and how I worked for that grade.
This is gonna sound a little different. I struggled with physics my sophomore year, and not as much as Jake did, but that class, I was upset about a 94. And it was with the teacher who's no longer at the school, named Mr. Cerniglia, and he's one of the many teachers you can work with and talk to, and he was willing to, at the end of the year, what can we do to get the grade up to where I wanted it? And so we ended up bumping my grade up 3 points after doing some work.
Yeah, so taking AP class is really great, but it's definitely a wake-up call, because I remember in middle school and definitely like my first 2 years of high school, I could just not study and get an A, which I was really happy about. But once I got to AP classes and I didn't study, I would get bad grades because it was like a lot more coursework and more knowledge needed. So yeah, that was definitely, and then I had to stay after and get some help. Don't be afraid to ask help. That's definitely another thing. Like, don't be ashamed that you have to get help. Yeah.
Definitely adding on to the AP courses. So this year, Mr. Cunningham convinced me to take AP Calculus and AP Statistics. So that was definitely a little rough for me, but Shivel and Cunningham both teach, or they both coach, and even though they're coaches, like they stayed after with me multiple days during the week to make sure that my grades are where I want them and that AP exams are coming up after April break, and like they are staying at the school during April vacation to help us prepare for our exam. So even though like we're struggling, like your teachers are there for you no matter how many other commitments they have.
Yeah, junior year AP US history really messed me up. It's kind of tough when you get 50s and 60s on tests and quizzes, and the teacher says that's okay, that's a good score on the test. So they're just all really helpful. I went for my lunches, my off periods, and they just want to see you do good.
Sounds like there's a big theme of advocating for yourself here.
I'd also like to add that we are talking about how the difficulty of AP classes are a lot higher than other classes. Most people who answer this question are in AP Calculus, and it's not necessarily the case for everyone. That's actually my best class, but I struggle in sciences, so everyone kind of has different things, and you can kind of talk with your friends and help. So I know I need help from some of my friends in my human anatomy class, because that stuff doesn't come easy to me, but I can help a lot of my friends with the calculus work, because that stuff is a lot easier for me.
For me in high school, it was a very basic intro to technology class that I decided to skip a project on and had to spend the entire semester staying after doing work to get that grade back up. But to echo their sentiment, the teacher was willing to help me if I was willing to put in the work. So anyhow, any questions from you guys?
What was your hardest year and why?
For me, it was definitely junior year because that's when AP classes open up to you. So I decided to take 2 that year. Definitely completely different, even though we have ACC classes, completely different from those. You have to, like, the workload plus preparing for the AP test at the end of the year, 2 completely different things. Like, kind of flips a switch from all those classes. So definitely, I'd say junior year. Senior year is pretty relaxing, but depends on how many classes you take. So I'd say just try to take as many classes as you can, like freshman, sophomore, junior year, get them all out of the way so your senior year can be very relaxing.
I'll just real quick. I agree with junior year. I think what we're saying in 99% of the time, this is good advice, is get involved with as much as you can, but if you are taking that to heart and when you get older, sometimes things can really become too much, especially if you're taking so many APs and you're in sports as well, or you're having a job, or you're doing music. Like, you also have to think about doing a few things really well is better than doing tons of things and you're not happy and you're like too busy, you don't have free time for anything. So it's good to keep a balance. Like, I think a lot of us will say it's junior year. When you start getting up here, it's a little bit stressful at times if you don't manage it right.
I'd actually have to say sophomore year for me personally. We had an interesting circumstance with the pandemic. Our first full year was sophomore year, and that was when a lot of the clubs and the activities weren't running, or they were virtual, so they weren't quite the same. And so that kind of took a mental toll on me, because freshman year I was really involved and I was going to a bunch of shows, because we have like an improv group here and they do shows every month and stuff like that. It was really fun, and when that wasn't running, the community kind of had a tough time. But now that we're back, I'd say that sophomore year probably wouldn't be as much of an issue anymore.
I think my senior year was the hardest because I am in 2 hard AP classes, along with my EMT class, preparing for my EMT test, my AP tests, applying for college. That's a whole process and a half. So yeah, and I'm playing softball too, so it's very hard to like balance everything, but once like you get a handle of it, it's not that bad.
I would agree with senior year. I think the classes were for me were more than last year, as well as the honor societies and everything. One thing I would say about that is you don't need to do everything. Like, it's very pushed to do everything for the college application. It'll look good on your resume. Like, you don't need to do everything. I would say pick a couple of things, definitely get involved. I would say pick a couple of things you really like, you're really passionate about. For me, that's science. I'm going into a science major, so I wanted to get really involved with the Science Honor Society. But you don't need to do every honor society. You don't need to take every AP class. Definitely, you want to make the most of your experience. So it's hard to have a really stressful senior year. And I really did enjoy mine, but I did have a lot going on. So I think know that it's important to get involved, but don't feel like you have to join everything.
Just a disclaimer, we are not trying to scare you from AP classes. It's definitely more work, but you'll feel a lot better when you get a grade that you're satisfied with. So please do not be scared.
To add on to that, like, even if you don't pass the AP exam, like if your school or your college doesn't accept the grade you got, like you're probably gonna have to take it again in college, but you're gonna know the material and it's gonna be so much easier. I know that's a disclaimer that Mr. Shivel always says, is he's like, so what if you don't pass the exam? You know the material now, so. Yeah.
Sorry, I had a question for Landon, quick. I know welding, it's pretty competitive to get into. I don't think we get many seats over there. Is that correct? So, okay.
Yeah, I'm the only one from Timberlane that got accepted into it. So it was a whole learning curve. It was a lot to meet new people, make new friends from different schools all over the place. I believe Pelham goes there, Wyndham, especially Pinkerton. You learn the whole campus, and all the teachers there are amazing. They just want to help you. And yeah, even here they support you going into the programs there. Timberlane does not offer transportation to Pinkerton too, which is kind of tough to manage. So you basically leave here 10:30. Be at Pinkerton for your first year. You got to be there for 12:35, I believe. So you got a good amount of time to travel back and forth and figure out when to be there. Second year, you have to be there for first period, which you basically go straight there, and you're there till 8:35, and then you come back here after.
What decisions or what do you think you did freshman, sophomore year that allowed you to be accepted that?
I just worked hard, keeping my math grade up, and paying attention, keeping all my grades really like above like an 80.
Yeah, so like he said, you have to apply to get into these programs, and a lot of them have prerequisites. Like the health science program, you need to have at least I think it's a B in biology to get accepted in, and then you have to write like a essay and whatever, but it's definitely like worth the experience. Yeah, so just do good in your classes, and if you can, get into the CT programs because they have a lot of really good opportunities.
I apologize if this question's already been asked, but I'm curious, how many days we have left of 8th grade? Anyone know? I feel like this number's in their top of their head for some weird reason. If anyone here in the panel could put yourself in your 8th grade shoes as a student and you had 35-ish days left, what advice would you give yourself with 35 days left in 8th grade?
Probably just relax, don't be too stressed. It seems like a lot, and I remember it seemed pretty big, but it'll all work out, and if you get involved and just do what you enjoy, I think you'll just have more fun.
I would say like kind of like Camden said, don't think about it too much. Don't stress yourself out. You'll know what you want to be involved in, and just continue what you've been doing in middle school and high school.
Yeah, I would say don't stress about high school. One thing I would say is definitely take advantage of the team that you're in and really getting close to that group of people for the next month or month and a half. Because one thing in high school is I didn't see a lot of the people I was on a team with for a lot of high school. You have classes with pretty much one group of people, a couple classes, and then there's a lot of people you don't see anymore. So I think just enjoy the time with the people that you're with right now.
I would say get involved. Freshman year, open yourself up to as many opportunities as you can. And then by like sophomore, junior year, start finding what you are truly passionate with and stick with that so you can open yourself up to as many opportunities within that specific like field or like subject area so you can give yourself as many opportunities for your future.
Something I kind of lived by when I was in high school was that I'd rather be like, oh man, I tried, I didn't like it, or it wasn't that good, instead of, oh man, I wish I tried 2 months after it happened. So I feel like it's way better to just do it and not like it than to think you might not like it, but you might, and then not do it. Just like let it fly, just try, you know?
I think you have a cool opportunity ahead of you to, like, you're going into a different school. If you want to, I mean, not to sound disingenuous, but if you want to, like, kind of change or, like, be somebody that you feel like you aren't now, you have, like, the permission to do that. Like, I think the coolest people in high school are people that are just super nice. They are willing to be friendly with people from all different, like, groups or whatever you want to call it. People that are just outgoing and friendly and hardworking. Like, you don't need to get caught up in, I know there's like popularity and things in both of our schools, but it's just cool to be a nice person, and I think you'll find a lot more opportunities opening up if you do that.
Less drama at the high school? Less drama at the high school? Yeah. Thank you.
I'd recommend for your last 35 days to enjoy your world as it is now, because every single year in high school, your world gets so much bigger, especially when you get your license, which is coming up, I think, in 2 years for you guys. When you can start driving, things change, and they start to change really fast. I remember when I did get my license, you know, you can go places, and when you get involved in sports teams, you travel to different schools, you meet new people, and just enjoy where you are now with all the people that you know before the world gets really big.
This is definitely, I will get to your question, definitely a plug for the people who are in the building still when asked about the 35 days left, because after they leave this presentation, which is awesome, they are going to go right into I'm looking at some teachers, they're going to go to Michigan Social Studies class, and there's still lots of learning to do. And yes, they're excited for these opportunities that will afford them in their freshman year, their sophomore year, but I'm hopeful that you guys feel that, yes, relax, don't get too overwhelmed with this impending transition, but there's still plenty to learn. And since I've heard many of you talk about the important adults you have at the high school, they also have adults in middle school who still care about them, love them, and want to help them with this transition. So I'm hopeful that you would advocate for them to reach out to those teachers, talk to them about what you're nervous about, excited about, because they can give a lot of helpful advice as well. Fair?
Would you say the food is better than the middle school and in the high school? And did you have more fun in high school or in middle school?
So just so you know, Skylar, it is the same food company at the middle school and the high school. So rather than jumping into it, I believe there might be like one more option up there because there's more kids, but it is the same company. So, anywho, can we just hear it for our seniors real quick? I think I speak for everyone here to say thank you for your time, as well. Best of luck with everything as you guys transition to the next step of your lives. At this time, I'm going to pass the microphone on to high school principal, Mr. Vaccarezza.
They say the toughest thing to do, the thing that people are more afraid of than anything, is public speaking. These individuals out here did a fantastic job. Give it up to them better than anybody else. So real quick, because we'll conclude, I can tell you a couple of things guaranteed, and they're important to know. One of those things is that the person you were in 8th grade will not be the person you are as a senior. I didn't pay them to nod, they're doing that on their own. You will be different. You will change. You will have opportunities that you didn't have afforded to you at this age that will be there at that time. You're going to have to make decisions. But we want you to understand that we are here for you to help you make those decisions. Nobody did it on their own. Nobody did it by themselves. Okay? So you are not alone. You are not alone. With that in mind, we want you to understand that these individuals have a future and have planned. They can obviously communicate. They critically think, collaborate, cooperate. These are the keys to your next stage of your life. So we want you to understand that as 8th graders, you are in that same boat. But my last message to you, as your future principal, is that we want you. We want you at the high school for what you are going to become. Okay? We want you for what you will become, for the opportunity to be something great. Who you were is not who you are going to be. So we wish you the best of luck in understanding that that's your future. You're in control. We appreciate your time. Have a safe and happy vacation. Thank you very much.
All right, at this time, we are going to be moving into our second period classes. So you're going to get brought back by your teachers, grab your stuff, and then we'll slowly get into second period.